Streaming live via the internet, welcome to ISP Radio, your weekly source for ISP-related news, events, and interviews with industry experts. If you deliver internet via fiber optic, fixed wireless, coax, or any other way, you're in the right place. And now a brief word from our sponsors. Link Technologies Incorporated provides the lowest priced Microtech products in North America, as well as Wade Towers, Mimosa, Cambium, Ubiquity, Nettonics, and a host of other products and services to be your one-stop shop for your ISP needs. Visit www.linktechs.net. That's LINKTECHS.net for more information. TowerCoverage.com, providing online RF coverage maps with website integration. Stop rolling your trucks for every site survey and start doing installations. Visit www.towercoverage.com now. And now we'd like to present our hosts, Steve Grabiel and Dennis Burgess.
Welcome to another edition of ISP Radio. I'm your host, Stephen Grabiel, broadcasting from Moriarty, New Mexico, and Dennis Burgess is broadcasting and producing the show from St. Louis, Missouri. Well, last week we had a pretty big weekend, or Thursday and Friday. We did some tower climbing class at Lee Loker with Tower 1. He came out to Albuquerque and 3 WISPs got together and we all learned how to climb safely. That was a very eye-opening experience. Learned a lot about doing things the right way. And hopefully we'll be certified here soon. Not competent, but certified. And other than that, we had a beautiful rainstorm come through here yesterday, make all the weeds grow really good, and things are going to warm up here. Going to be about 80 degrees by the weekend, which will be really nice. And that's about all that's been going on out here in Moriarty. How about out in Missouri? I know that you came back from your trade show whirlwind. How did that all go, Dennis?
Oh, lots and lots. I've talked to so many people, I don't even remember half of them. Oh, but we got notes. We've been contacting everybody. If you have not been contacted, give us a call. We definitely try to help as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. Overall, the trade shows were excellent. I definitely think it's definitely good for our business as well. The weather here, we actually have had some cold days. My grass is finally starting to grow that I planted last week, which is really good. Important things, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, no, we're getting some rain here today. We've been getting some rain on and off, but we've been up in the anywhere between the low 60s to the upper 80s, mid 80s. So it's been real nice here. Let's see here. The trade shows. The very first one was WISP America. Excellent show, and that was in Cincinnati. Obviously, there were a number of issues at the show that WISPA staff took care of before any people knew about, which is excellent. Great job, Trina and her staff, as making a show excellent for all of the vendors as well as all of the attendees. The next show was CanWisp. This is the Canadian conglomerate that is the counterpart to WISPA, but is the Canadian version. That was up in Ottawa. It was cold up there. They have a big lake that surrounds the hotel, and it was completely frozen over. Actually, there were some people on the lake fishing, and my sales guy David, he actually sat there and he goes, "Look at these idiots out there. They're on ice on top of a lake, and they've drilled a hole, and now they're sitting down, and it looks like they're fishing, and it's 6 a.m. It's first thing in the morning." He goes, "What idiots would do such thing?" And I go, "Jim would. I mean, give him a second to fish, and he's out there." But I regress. And then the last week we did was the Microtech MUM. Nothing new to report after the MUM, other than I am a Microtech certified security specialist or something. I don't know what the heck it is. It is a new certification for Microtech that they just decided to offer, etc. I took that certification test, and I can now do training on that, so that's a good thing. Speaking of Cambium, which I know we haven't said anything, but I actually have passed the EPMP courses. I've actually taken several other courses. Several of my engineers have actually taken several of the Cambium training course. Most of that is all online, makes it really easy to do, works out extremely well, but we actually have those certifications as well. So, again, really good stuff, really good time. Lots of seeing. I actually got to see John Tully, which is one of the owners of Microtech. Have not seen him in several years. Really great to see him. Otherwise, doing really good. Keep him busy. Plenty of support tickets, plenty of hardware sales, all that kind of good stuff.
Excellent. So for today's show, we have online with us today Alan Wu, and he works with Cambium Networks, and he's going to talk about the 820 product line, I think in particular the E series. Alan, are you there?
Yeah, hi, Steve. I'm here. Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm glad that you guys could get on the show and tell us about your new product line. So if you want to, go ahead and let's get into it.
Okay, great. So, hey, good morning, everyone. It's Alan Yu. I'm the product manager from Cambium Networks. So we have introduced 820 for about 5 years now. And this year we introduced a new line. It's called 820E. The E-band radio covers the 71 to 86 gigahertz. It's ultra high capacity radio. So today I'd like to take some time to share with you about this new product. And I know Dennis is running the slides. We should see the first page showing this radio. So the radio is a full outdoor radio, all IP based, and the unique thing of this one is it's very small. I mean, it's a very tiny, small radio, but deliver very high capacity. Or from a single unit, we can deliver 2.5 gigabits full duplex.
Wow.
From the single radio. So for the customer who need a high-speed backhaul, you can use this radio. And E-band by nature, it's not very long distance. It's not like the 6, 11 gigahertz you shoot for 7, 8 miles, 10, 20 miles. Normally when we're using E-band radio, we talk about, a couple miles, 1, 2 miles. If you want to lower the link availability, or your less range, you may be able to run 3, 4 miles. So it's a relatively short distance, but extremely high capacity. And if you look at the radio, we said the single radio delivered 2.5 gigabits. There's two different radios we offered. One is the connectorized version, so you will be able to hook with the external antenna, and we have the 1 foot, 2 foot. We also have a radio has the antenna built in, so it has everything integrated. So it's a single radio, you do the whole thing. Very simple. Very unique thing is because the radio deliver more than 1 gig, and we provide a single SFP plus interface, so people can run a single fiber, connect to your switch. Then you have a one cable solution for the whole capacity. The other thing is we are, as I said earlier, the E-band radio only do short distance, 1, 2 miles. You can do 3 miles, then your link availability start to go down. You'll not achieve a 3.5 or 4.9 link availability. You're running for 3, 4 miles, you start to running become a 3.9 radio. If you run for more than 4 miles, you already become a 2.9 radio. So one of the unique thing we put in here in the design is this radio will support a multiband configuration, meaning is we can share a single antenna, but this single antenna can do 80 gigahertz with 23 gigahertz or 80 gigahertz with 18 gigahertz. We're going to cover a little bit details for that configuration later. But the beauty of the multiband is you will have the E-band to give you the high capacity, and you will have the microwave solution to give you the link availability. So in a good day, you will have the throughput for combine both. When you have the heavy rain situation, your E-band will lost a link, but your microwave is still there, so it will give you a connection. So you do not really lost the link completely. That's a very unique thing we provided, very neat installation. And the radio is very compared with any other radio in the market. This radio gives you the very high modulation. We run up to 1K QAM for the narrow channels on the 62.5 megahertz channel. We run from QPSK all the way to 1K QAM. On the wider channel, like 500 megahertz channel, we run from QPSK to 64 QAM. The beauty of that one is it's not only give you more steps, more spectrum efficiency, but also when you really see when the ACM kick in, when the RF condition change, it gives you a very fine steps for the throughput change. So that is a very good thing for the customer to have. So let's talk a little bit more in detail about the interface. So if we look at the radio itself, it has antenna port. Of course, we also provide the connector to show the RSL receive level. You can measure that to see your alignment stuff. And on the data port, we have two different format of the radio. One radio we call ESE radio, so it's Ethernet, SIP port, and Ethernet. The other one is called ESP radio, is Ethernet, SIP, and SP plus. So if you want to use radio just for less than a gig, we recommend go with the ESE version because you run a single PoE. Then you run with this single PoE cable, you run your data 1 gig, you're good. If you're running more than 1 gig, we recommend to go with the EST version. Basically, you can power the radio with DC, or if you still want to run the power go through PoE, you can run the PoE, and you put a separate cable, fiber cable for the SIP plus. So you have a single cable come down for 10 gig capacity of the SIP, but the radio gave you 2.5 gig for duplex. So there are two different formats. There's really no cost difference. There's from list price, it's like $30 difference, but it's really about your installation. You want to go 1 gig, up to 1 gig. I think ESE make lot of sense. Because you don't need to buy SIP modules, you don't need to buy fiber cables, you just run a single cable. You want more than that, you go with ESP version, run a fiber with DC power input. So we also said we have two radios. One is integrated version, one is a connectorized version. So if we look at this page, shows how the radio is mounted. With the connectorized radio, we offer the CommScope antenna. So you just direct mount on the back of the antenna. Everything comes together. The integrated version is a 43 dB antenna. It's about basically the equal antenna again, like a 1 foot. So you can do that. The beauty of that one is because it has a 1 foot antenna again, but compared to 1 foot antenna, it's much compact. So if you want to do a installation in the area, you don't want to have a big footprint. You want to be more smaller, compact looking. The integrated version will be the one you should choose.
And is that a different part number, or can you swap the integrated antenna for the connectorized version or the external antenna?
It's different scale. You can't. You buy the integrated version. The antenna is tied together.
Okay, not a problem. Just trying to make sure that people understand that there are two different models that they need to purchase. If they want a dish, then they need to go with the direct mount hardware versus the integrated. They can't upgrade it.
Exactly. It's not changeable. It's one or the other.
Gotcha.
So let's look at some examples. What is the capacity I'm gonna get? What is the distance I can reach? So I put a link there using the 1 foot dish, or if you're using the integrated version, the same thing. It's a 43 dB antenna again, and we're putting a 3.5 as my minimum link availability or my link availability requirement for the highest capacity. So in this case, I'm running a 500 megahertz channel. I am using the a 1-foot dish with this is distance is about a 1.15 miles distance, so I can reach 2.5 gig capacity with 3.5 link availability. I choose the region K, the RIN zone K, because if you look at U.S., actually like in Chicago, St. Louis, East Coast, or from actually Chicago all the way to the east, majority of the area is covered by region K. But if you look at the west, like Denver area, Texas, New Mexico, California, many of the other area was covered by region E. So E will have a better performance because the RIN job will be less. So K is a bit worse. So by using region K, you can see is I can achieve 3.5 link availability with 64 QAM, which means is a majority of the year I'm running on the full capacity, but when my RIN phase start to kick in, and my modulation could go down, and I have from 64 down to BPSK, I have totally 6 steps. So it's come down from 2.5 gig to 2 gig, and then to 1.5 gig, all the way down, to the lowest modulation, which is about 360 megabits on the BPSK mode. So, and when you're down to the lowest modulation, you will have 4.5 link availability. So this kind of like give you the idea about distance if you use a 1-foot dish.
And is that modulating down going over to your other spectrum?
Yes.
Okay.
If you download the datasheet from our webpage, you should be able to see all of this. And if we take a 2-foot as example, similar idea is you take 2-foot, same thing, nothing changed. Still want 3.5 link availability with 2 gig, 2.5 gig throughput. The distance is about 2 miles. If you're starting shooting a little bit longer, say 3 miles, then you will not get 3.5 on 2 gig. You will go down to probably about actually you're gonna go to 3.9 in 2 gig, 2.9 in 3 gig, and down further. So it's really the distance. When you're shooting for longer distance, your link availability will go down. So how we solve that? Because there's many links. If we do a campus connection or building-to-building connection, most time it's okay. But most of the WISP customer we have, they're not only they need more capacity, but also they want a little bit longer range. They can't just do the 2 miles. They want a 3, 4 miles, sometimes 5 miles. Meanwhile, they don't want to have a link only with 2.9 link availability. So the challenge for that, we have a solution for that. It's called multiband. So when we look at multiband, as I said earlier, when we design a multiband radio, we design a radio for the microwave radio for a 4.9 or 5.9 link availability. We design a millimeter wave radio for 3.9 or 3.5. So you have a balance there. So when you do this kind of design, you literally lose the link availability requirement for millimeter wave radio, so you can shoot for a little bit longer distance. And then you're using your micro radio to cover the downtime. We have, if we go down to the configuration page, you can see we have a multiband radio or multiband antenna available. It's on 11 or 18 gigahertz. 18 and 23 gigahertz with 80 gigahertz. What you do is the 80 gigahertz will be direct mount on the back of the antenna, and on the side of the antenna there is another interface for microwave. With our 820 family per radio, like 820C or 820S, you can just direct connect your 820C or S on the side. For that radio, if you do a 820C, it gives you 1 gig full duplex. So you will be able to put everything together with a single dish. And when we do the data connection, all the data will come into the E-band radio. And on the E-band radio, you can set up the radio as a multi-band configuration. What the radio do is it will do the layer 1 aggregation. What it means is for all the data we received from switch, we will do the layer 1 aggregation between E-band radio and microwave, let's say 820C. If we do the 820C for 18 gigahertz, we can shoot for 1.2 gigabits. So it'll be totally balanced there, and we can use the full capacity of both radio. When things start to fade in, let's say the capacity of the 80 gigahertz start to lose because of rain, then the data will be start shifting more to will be rebalanced basically. The data will be, if we lost the E-band connection, all the data will be rerouted through the microwave radio. So in that one, if we look at the design here, as example, we did one trial link for about 3 miles. It's a 2.8 miles link. And we use the 18 gigahertz with 820C with a 2-foot antenna. So you can see this in this design. Basically, we designed the E-band radio for 3.5, and we designed the microwave radio for 5.9. So for every year, your downtime ready for the link, complete link, is less than 5 minutes. But and you may have about 3 hours ready down for the E-band because that will be a 3.5 link availability thing. So you have 3.5 hours of the year running less than your 3.5 gig throughput. So majority of the year you're ready on the 3.5 gig, and then for those 3 hours you're running on less than 1 gig. This gives you the protection for your link availability, but also you can enjoy the full capacity. That is a very unique thing we have bring in with this 820 design. That is what I like to share with the audience here.
There we go. It definitely sounds really cool. I think one question that most of our listeners will probably want to know is what do they have to get into E-band? Now this is a license band or kind of license light type thing. What are the costs associated with licensing the E-band system that they need to know about?
So E-band is a light licensed spectrum. It's not like the traditional microwave. It takes a little bit longer time. For traditional microwave, you have to go through license coordination. It takes about a week to get your channel assigned. Then take about 30 days to get the we call PCM process to notify everybody, and then you get a file with FCC. You spend about $1,200 to pay for a 10 years license fee. That is microwave. When we move to E-band, it's faster. E-band licensing process is a online application process. So you can apply online within minutes or hours. Should be less than you definitely get your answers within 3 hours. So worst case you may wait a bit longer. So it is a light license process. And also you pay far less than the microwave. You pay about $300. You will get the license covered for the E-band radio. So the process is pretty straightforward, simple, and also the cost is far less compared with the licensed microwave.
Gotcha.
But in this situation where you have, and was I hearing you right? When everything's running the way it's supposed to, we could get 3.5 gig through this link at about 2-3 miles.
Yes,
with the dual band multi-band radio.
That's correct. It's basically if you're running for this multi-band,
right?
The E-band radio gave you 2.5 gig, and the 820C gave you 1 gig or 1.2 gig, depends on channel size you choose. Right? Combine them together, you get 3.5 gig all year long. When the E-band radio lost, because of rain fade out, those things, so you have 3 hours. If you design the radio for 3.5, you lost about 3 hours.
Right.
If you design radio for 3.9, basically you're gonna lost about, I think it's almost like less than a day, but it'll be much longer. So it depends on your design. Majority of the year you're gonna running for full capacity. When the E-band lost, you still have microwave give you 1 gig for the rest of the time.
Right.
That is where you have the balance between the, but you will be able to enjoy both the high capacity and with high availability for your link.
Right. So in this multi-band situation, you would need to get a PCN for the 23 gigahertz. Is that lightly licensed, or is that regular PCN? And you would have to get the E-band license as well, correct?
Yes. So yeah, that's a good question. So basically, licensing process is totally different or independent between the E-band and the microwave.
Right.
So when you do a multi-band radio, you still go through the PCN process for your licensed microwave.
Correct.
And then you do the light license for your E-band.
Aha. Okay.
It just when you do the installation, it's much neat and simple because it's a single dish, and you put everything, both radio direct attached with the single dish. So the whole installation is very neat and clean.
Right. And I didn't get a chance to see the presentation, but the dish, when you do connectorized, can you do the multiband, or do you need a separate dish, or you just use the CommScope that I guess you've engineered with them?
This is a special dish, or I'm probably not sure, shouldn't call this special. I mean, basically this dish, it's a multi-band dish.
Correct.
This dish supports both 18 and 80 gigahertz, or 23 and 80 gigahertz.
Yeah, so
and it offers the radio direct mount interface,
right,
so you will be able to hook the radio direct.
So you will get a connectorized version of the 80 gigahertz product, and then you'll get a connectorized version of the 820C, and then you will be purchasing their the OMT and the dish, as well as the mount for the dish, all separately or at one time. But you will need to tell them, or whoever you are purchasing your Cambium from, that yes, I do need a multi-band solution. I need 80 gigahertz and 23. I need all the radios and all the pieces to go with it.
Right.
And then they basically let the 820E, the multi-band setup, do all the link aggregation and failover. Mostly, and I'm pretty sure that is simply because the 820E actually has a 10 gig port, number one, and number two, it understands how much throughput it has, and it's going to fade out quicker. So it understands all that, and therefore can shift your traffic accordingly. So the big thing to think in this is that yes, you can get 3.5 gig out of a setup like that, which is pretty impressive. But that's still going to be something like 3 to 4 miles. It's not going to be 10 miles or 11 miles.
No. That's right. There's a regulatory requirement thing, and the antenna for E-band radio is really the 1 foot and 2 foot. There is no 4 or 6 foot things like that.
Yeah, we need some 4-footers.
So with the 2 foot dish, really we talk about is 3, 4, 5 a little bit stretch already, because your link availability will drop quite significant. You probably only do a 2.9 or maybe less than 2.9, depends on where you are. So generally speaking, it's still we're not doing this solution is not suitable for 10 mile or even longer. We do have the 820C configuration. We have we call 820C HP, and we can do 8+0 link. In theory, we can do 16+0 as well. So that will deliver a 10 gig capacity for, we can even running for 20 miles. The challenge is not about the radio itself. The challenge actually is more about the channels. Do we have available channels in the market for the specific path you want to run the link? What we have seen many issues from customer. It's very hard to get even a wider channel because now the spectrum become depending on the area. Many area has been very congested. You're running for 6 and 11 gigahertz. Very hard to get a wider channel. Some you want to run XPIC, you can't even run XPIC because the other channel has been used. So that's the real challenge. But the radio itself is capable. Of course, it's a very heavy thing. If you put 8 plus all together, you put 4 radios on each end, and then you aggregate them together. It's possible thing, but compared to E-band, E-band is much cost effective and much high capacity because E-band radio you can run it on much wider channel, but the catch is the distance is relatively short.
I have a question for you. So, like all of the 5G deployments that like Verizon and those guys are doing, are they running 60 gigahertz or are they running 80 gigahertz?
Actually, they're not running. They're running neither of them. They are for 5G. Really, people running on the 28, 31, or recently FCC just opened the 38, 39, 41 gigahertz. Mm-hmm. That is not as high as 60 or 80 gigahertz. That is where their spectrum running for access network.
Gotcha. I was just curious on that.
Yeah, for the backhaul side, the majority of them, if they're running on they haven't really deployed real 5G, or they said they have some trials ongoing. But a real 5G, if we do a real 5G, really most of the backhaul people running on fiber because capacity need per tower thing.
Right.
They could running for the E-band could be a good backhaul for them too because capacity side. And also, when we talk about that one, the backhaul for 5G, 80 gigahertz is not a problem. The challenge of the distance is not a problem anymore because most of 5G, they're also very relatively small coverage.
Right.
Yes, small cell.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I was saying I was just trying to make sure that they weren't running in 80 gigahertz or 60 gigahertz. Not necessarily saying that they couldn't, but just stating that they probably didn't need to run in those bands because of those operations. I was just reading today, matter of fact, about a national company, we won't name any names, that the results from their latest 5G millimeter wave deployments were very less than remarkable because of the distance that it doesn't go through anything. It doesn't have any distance whatsoever. And the problem is that bringing those, we're talking, not small cell. We're talking micro cell and what we call nano cell, which is, now you have to have a cell, every 200, 300, 400 feet, and that just gets a really stupid cost whenever we look at that to be able to deliver the speeds that they're really talking about. And I was just trying to make sure that they were not using the same spectrum, this E-band. I could easily see them doing that, but no big deal. Well, Steve, you got any other questions, queries, posers?
Would they even consider using E-band to deliver to the cell phone? I mean, that doesn't make sense, jamming LTE on top of E-band.
They're already using millimeter wave. I mean, what's the difference?
I figured they'd use it for backhaul, like Alan was saying, but
the
not
E-band
for
today is dedicated for point-to-point. It's
right.
really not for multi-point. So I think there's a common use for millimeter wave radio because people historically we call millimeter radio. It's really something in very high frequency, like the 60 and above thing. But now, really, I think the concept starts to be loose. This definition, people call any radio even above 20, 25, 26 gigahertz, they call millimeter wave radio. So people, I think that caused some confusion about which band really this one referred to.
Right.
But for E-band, by regulatory, it is really, it's dedicated for backhaul purpose. It's not only in U.S. If you look at the global footprint, majority of the country around the world, the E-band is also dedicated for point-to-point. It's not for point-to-multipoint.
So, Alan, the question is, what's the availability of this product that we're talking about?
Oh, we already shipping, and actually we start shipping from February, and we already have customer receive the radio, and I believe as far as I know, there are few customers start the installation process already. So I would not surprised some of the radio will be put in live this month.
Excellent.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
Any idea of MSRP on a complete link, say 23 gig?
With multiband together?
Yes, sir.
So let me think. Let me double check here. The A20C radio with 1 gig full loaded is about 20K. It's about 20K, I believe, for the C radio. The E-band the E-band radio, the MSRP is $5,500 radio price. And if we fully loaded those things, is about 20 with antenna, everything is about 25, probably 25-ish, 25K range. If we load everything together on the list price. So if you do the multi-band together, it's, I would say, combined together, probably on the 40 to 50K range, list price.
For a complete link?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
There you go. Well, Steve, do we have anything, any other questions for Alan at all?
I think he addressed everything I had. It's really interesting how they're integrating, bonding it all together, and then doing the downshifting in rain events. That's pretty handy, where we don't have to do it outside the radio. It's all done inside.
I do have a question for you. On the modulation shifts, are those no hit? So in other words, nobody would ever even notice them?
Right. So this is we call ACM, adaptive coding modulation change. It's hitless and errorless. So as an end user, you will not really recognize the radio shifting. The speed of shifting is up to 100 dB per second. So it's pretty fast shifting. And also, when we talk about more detail about shifting, is not only when we shift to the modulation, you get the gain on receive level. We will also boost the TX power when we shift to lower modulation, because compared with, say, 64 QAM, the transfer power is about 9 dB. When you shift it down to BPSK, your transfer power becomes 15 dB. So you're going to see a 6 dB gain from transfer power. And receive level, every step is about 3 dB. So if we change from 64 QAM down to BPSK, you gain about 18 dB for the receive level, plus this 6 dB on the transfer power. So system gain, actually, you're going to gain 24 dB. That gives you a lot, and that's why we will be able to deliver a much smooth super change when you do have a fade condition during the deployment.
Right. Yeah, to me that's pretty incredible.
There you go.
Good stuff.
I think I got all my questions answered. Unless there's anything else, I think we're golden.
Right. Well, Alan, unless you got something else to tell us, we really appreciate your time being on the show and talking about the new E-band equipment that Cambium has, and hopefully people reach out to you and find out more information. And by the way, how do they do that if they're more interested in the product?
Sure. Thank you, Steve and Dennis. It's very, glad to have me here in this show. Of course, if there's any additional questions, you guys have, or any audience have, we're here. We're happy to provide all the information you need.
And how do they do that? How would they reach out to you guys?
We have our, we sell through the distributors, and also we have our regional sales team. You can find our regional sales manager from our, just go to Cambium webpage. There's a click on the sales. There's a connection from there. You can find their contact information. Or you can call our customer support. They're 24/7. They can also provide all the general information if you have any technical part on the technical part.
Yep. And, we do resell Cambium, so if there's anybody that needs anything, sales at linktext.net or anything like that. So we can definitely help anybody with any of those types of products as needed. So, keep going from there. Thank you very much for coming on the show. It's always nice to have a manufacturer come on the show and explain the products, and especially with slide deck, it really helps all of our listeners to see what the products you guys are offering. And understand how they hook up. So,
Well, then let's wrap up the show. Thank you for listening, and Dennis, if you'll wrap it up, we will talk to you guys next week.
Yep, not a problem. Take it easy, everybody.
Thank you.
Our show sponsors via the links on ispradio.com. If you're interested in becoming a show sponsor, contact us at sales@ispradio.com. Now go out there and push those packets as fast as you can. Good luck and Godspeed.